You didn't just end one life. You effectively ended 5 lives, including your own.
That's the judge sentencing XXXTentacion's killers to life, but one of them, Robert Allen, just walked free after only 5 years. Now X's mother, Cleopatra, is confronting him publicly, and the internet is losing it. How is her son's killer already free? And what did Cleopatra say that left everyone speechless? Let's get into it. 50 bans and a bad decision. Alright, so boom, late March 2026. Your whole timeline is going crazy. Every blog, every page, every outlet from XXL to the source to hot new hip-hop is running the same story. One of XXXTentacion's killers just got released from prison. Daily Loud posts a reel that clears 6.9 million views in what feels like hours. The comments section is a war zone. Fans are heated. People are calling for all types of things that would get this video demonetized if I repeated them. And here's the wild part. Almost all of that outrage, it was based on a lie, or at the very least some seriously recycled information that nobody bothered to fact-check before they ran with it. Because Robert Allen IV, the fourth body on the indictment in the robbery and murder of Jose Dwayne Ricardo Enroy, did not just get released in March 2026. Not even close. This man had been walking free since October 26, 2023. That's more than 2 whole years of him being out living regular, working a regular job, moving through the world like a regular civilian. And not a single person on the internet caught it. Nobody pulled the paperwork. Nobody ran the records until somebody finally did. And old news became breaking news all over again. But if you really want to understand how we got here, how one of the men connected to the murder of one of the most iconic young artists the culture has ever seen ended up back on the streets this fast, we got to take it all the way back. Back to Deerfield Beach, Florida. Back to a Louis Vuitton bag stuffed with 50 racks. Back to the worst decision 4 dudes ever made in broad daylight. June 18, 2018. A Monday afternoon in South Florida. The kind of day where the air feels thick enough to chew and the sun is beaming down like it's got a personal vendetta against everybody outside. Jason Roy XXXTentacion was 20 years old. Earlier that day, he had pulled $50,000 in cash out of a Bank of America. 500 crisp $100 bills and stuffed them into a black Louis Vuitton bag. 50 bands just sitting in a shoulder bag like it was gym clothes. That bag would be the last thing he ever carried. He had his step with him, Leonard Kerr. The two of them pulled up to Riva Motorsports in X's black BMW i8. Now, if you've never seen an i8 in person, just know that car does not blend in. Butterfly doors, blacked out, looking like something Tony Stark would whip. You see that thing once, you remember it forever, and somebody did remember it. Somebody who absolutely should not have. Dedrick Williams had clocked that same BMW i8 at a probation office months earlier. On this particular afternoon, Williams was behind the wheel of a rented 2017 Dodge Journey, rolling with 3 other dudes, Michael Boatwright, Trayvon Noom, and Robert Allen. These 4 had set out that day with the explicit intention of hitting licks, armed and looking for targets. They weren't specifically hunting for X. They were hunting for anybody. But when Williams spotted that i8 sitting in the Riva Motorsports parking lot, anybody turned into a come-up worth $50,000. Williams wheeled the Journey into the lot. He pulled up an Instagram photo to confirm the whip belonged to X. Then he and Allen hopped out and walked inside the dealership, walked right past XXXTentacion himself, who was inside browsing bikes with his uncle, not knowing 2 of the men who would help end his life had just strolled past him like customers.
Because his mom just asked me to accompany him somewhere at the time.
That's Leonard Kerr on the stand, X's step-uncle, explaining how he ended up in that car that day. He wasn't there for any reason other than his nephew's mom asked him to ride along. Just keeping X company while he went to look at some bikes.
I was like beside, behind, just looking around at the bike as well. On the bikes inside.
X was vibing, just a young dude with money in his bag, checking out motorcycles, talking to the sales floor, living his regular life on a regular afternoon. Meanwhile, Williams rocking a white tank top and some loud-ass bright orange sandals. Copped 2 black ski masks from inside the store. All of it caught on Riva's security cameras. And then he and Allen bounced back to the truck where the real conversation went down. Allen later testified he tried to dead the whole plan on the spot. He told them, "I don't think it is a good idea. I just went in there and I am on camera." But Williams wasn't trying to hear that. He looked at the group and basically said, "Y'all scared?" And Boatwright sealed it. "Alright, we're going to get him." So they parked the Journey across from the north exit and they sat 10 minutes, maybe 30, just posted up, watching, waiting for X to come outside. The kind of patience that only comes from people who've already made up their minds about what they're about to do. When X finally walked out, climbed into his BMW, Kerr riding shotgun, and started pulling toward the exit. Williams threw the Journey right in front of him, boxed him in completely. No way out. Kerr is describing this moment in real time on the witness stand. They pull up to the exit, stop, look right, and by the time Kerr looks left, everything has already changed.
By the time he looked to the left, I see a car just coming down block the entrance, pulled by the entrance.
Boatwright and Newsom, masked up now, jumped out and rushed the driver's side with a blicky. Boatwright had a short-barreled rifle. Newsom was strapped with a .22 semi-auto.
Taller one was like this. You don't come out the heffing car. And he was like with a gun.
Kerr is sitting in the passenger seat, a pole in his face, while on the driver's side, Newsom is yanking at X's chain going through his pockets. X was yelling, "What is this for?"
Digging. Give me the chain. Where's the chain? Give me the chain.
Bro is 20 years old, trapped in his own whip, two masked dudes pulling at his neck and his bag, and he's asking the question none of them were ever going to answer. What is this for? Kerr hit the button. The butterfly door popped and he booked it. He ran and didn't look back until he heard it.
How much time I don't know, but I heard something like explode.
An explosion?
Yeah.
The lick was done. The bag was gone. There was no reason to shoot, but Boatwright stepped back, looked X in the eyes, and squeezed anyway. Two shots hit X in the neck at a downward angle, clipped his left lung, grazed his aorta. They rushed him to Broward Health North. He was pronounced dead at 4:51 p.m., 20 years old. Toxicology came back clean. No drugs, no alcohol. He was just out living life. And now he was gone. That same evening, the four of them were back at Boatwright's crib, splitting the bread and flashing it for the Graham. Williams literally made a video of himself dancing on a bed, throwing the cash in the air. They divided it up, 15 racks each for Boatwright, Newsom, and Williams. Allen got $5,000 because, as he later told the court, he wasn't really participating in the actual robbery. $5,000. That's what Allen's involvement in the murder of one of the biggest artists in hip-hop was worth. A used Honda Civic's worth of blood money. And it would cost him everything or almost everything depending on who you ask. The snitch, the smirk, and the sentence. It didn't take long for the whole operation to unravel. Dedrick Williams got knocked first, June 20th, just 2 days after the murder. Bro was still wearing those same orange sandals. Surveillance from inside Riva had his face, his tats, his whole fit on camera. Cell phone pings traced the journey's route through Deerfield Beach. DNA came back on the masks. By summer's end, all four were sitting in Broward County Jail, staring down first-degree murder charges, and the streets were buzzing about who was going to crack first. The answer came fast. Robert Allen was picked up on July 26, 2018 at his sister's spot out in Dodge County, Georgia. And while Boatwright was in there mugging for the cameras, and Williams was playing tough, Allen was in the back room with detectives telling them everything. Within hours, he gave up names, details, the play-by-play, the whole nine. He later admitted on the stand that some of his early statements weren't 100% straight. He tried to downplay his own role at first, but the core of what he said never changed. From jump, Robert Allen knew exactly what he was doing. He was going to be the one who made it home. On August 12, 2022, after roughly 4 years of sitting in pre-trial detention, just marinating in a cell, Allen CPP'd a plea guilty to second-degree murder and armed robbery. The first-degree charge got dropped. In return, he agreed to take the stand and tell the world everything. And in February of 2023, that's exactly what he did. 4 days of testimony, breaking down every detail of the lick from the moment Williams spotted the I-8 to the moment Boatwright decided 50 bands wasn't enough and started squeezing. Defense attorneys went at his neck on cross. They painted him as a liar. Said he was fabricating the whole story to dodge a life bid. But here's the thing about Allen's testimony. The surveillance footage, the cell phone data, the DNA on the masks, and the photos of these dudes literally posing with the stolen cash all backed up what he was saying. On March 20th, 2023, the jury came back with a verdict. Guilty. All counts. Boatwright, Williams, and Newsom cooked. And that's when Michael Boatwright showed the world he had absolutely zero remorse in his body. As the verdicts were being read out loud with Extension's mother, Cleopatra Bernard, sitting right there in the courtroom, Boatwright turned toward the cameras, smirked, and blew a kiss. Dead serious. This man just got hit with a first-degree murder conviction, and his response was to cheese at the victim's mom and blow her a kiss like he was at prom. The audacity was unreal, and apparently it wasn't even a one-time thing. Cleopatra later told TMZ that Boatwright had been blowing kisses at her throughout the entire trial, just trolling her from the defendant's table for weeks. Then came sentencing day, April 6, 2023. Judge Michael Hewson addressed each one of them individually, and the words this man chose absolutely surgical.
Mr. Williams, you are the perfect example of why we have a law of principles in this state.
The judge laid it out plain. Without Williams, none of it happens. He spotted the car. He bought the masks. He blocked the exit. He was the architect.
You should understand that while you were dancing on that bed, throwing down those bills, You weren't throwing money down on the floor.
And the judge hit Williams with the bar of the century, something that should be taught in courtrooms forever.
You should think of that as you tossing down the days, weeks, and months of your life just like that. Like so many pieces of paper.
Every bill Williams threw in that video, every hundred he flipped in the air while celebrating was a day of his life he would never get back. The judge literally told him he was dancing on his own grave. And then he turned to Boatwright.
Mr. Boatwright, you turned a robbery into a murder. And on that day, when you stood there and fired that weapon,
The judge paused, letting it sit, and then he finished it.
you didn't just end one life. You effectively ended 5 lives, including your own.
5 lives. Extension, the 3 homies he dragged to a life bid, and himself, all because he decided that taking 50 bands wasn't enough. He had to take a life, too.
That's your bed. And next to it is a stainless steel sink and a stainless steel toilet. That's the furniture that you have in that cell.
A steel slab welded to a wall. That's the crib now. No drip, no whip, no flex, just concrete, fluorescent lights, and a toilet 2 feet from where you sleep every single night until they carry you out.
You'll spend every hour and every day and every week and every year of your life in that cell.
Boatwright caught 2 consecutive life sentences without parole, plus an extra 30 years stacked on top. Williams and Newsom both got life without parole. Done. Wrapped. No appeal is saving any of them. And Cleopatra, she had waited 5 years for this exact moment. She went straight to Instagram and posted, "God is good." With the prayer hands over the sentencing headlines, she wore a t-shirt with Joss's face on it and wrote, "I made sure you were present in the room." And then she went full savage in a TMZ interview. She called Boatwright the most disrespectful bar a grieving mother has ever dropped and said she hopes he will now get the kiss he wants so bad behind bars, a direct reference to those courtroom kisses. And for Williams and Newsom, she left them with some advice they'll be thinking about for the rest of their natural lives. She hoped they'd retain a firm grasp on the slippery soap that's a mother who buried her 20-year-old son, waited half a decade for justice, and delivered the most stone cold press conference in the history of criminal sentencing. But then 5 weeks later, on May 17, 2023, a very different sentencing happened. Robert Allen, the snitch, the rat, the one who told it all. He stood in front of that same judge and waited to hear what cooperating with the state was worth on the open market.
I genuinely believe that you are sorry for what you have done and not merely sorry for yourself.
That's Judge Ian speaking directly to Allen. And then came the number 7 years.
So on counts 1 and 2, this court will find you guilty, adjudicate you to be guilty, sentence you to 7 years in Florida State Prison.
With credit for nearly 5 years, already served sitting in Broward County Jail awaiting trial, plus 20 years of probation, which meant this man, convicted of second-degree murder in the killing of one of hip-hop's most beloved young artists, was about to be back on the streets before the next album cycle, Free Man Ghost Life. October 26, 2023. Robert Allen, 4, walked out of a Florida correctional facility. No fanfare, no TMZ cameras, no blog posts, nothing. He just left, slid out the back door of the justice system, and vanished into civilian life so cleanly that not a single person on the internet noticed for over 2 years. No cap. Nobody knew until some court documents started floating around in 2026. And everybody lost their minds over what was technically ancient news. And honestly, the way this man has been moving since he got out is almost impressive in how invisible it is. Allen is working as a truck driver with a CDL, a commercial driver's license. In September 2025, Judge Ian signed off on letting him travel across the entire United States for work as long as he checks in with probation in person every 6 weeks and calls in once a week while he's out of state. His home address sealed from every public document, scrubbed completely because the court recognized he's been marked for death by gang affiliates for cooperating.
So it says change reopen status 10/26/2023. But I know how he's making money. I done picked it all up.
That's a YouTuber going through Allen's actual probation paperwork. The same documents that blew up the internet in March 2026 and had everybody thinking this was fresh news.
So y'all can get mad at him and all that crap for being a part of it. He didn't pull the trigger.
And that right there, he didn't pull the trigger, is the line that has split XXXTentacion's entire fanbase straight down the middle. It's the bar that starts every single argument about this case in every comment section, every group chat, and every barbershop in the country. There hasn't been a single public statement, interview, social media post, or media appearance from Allen since he walked out. No IG, no Twitter, no TikTok, no podcast appearances, nothing. The last words anybody has from this man are the ones he said in court, where he looked Extension's family in the eye and basically said, if he had to die in prison, so be it. Please forgive, and whether that apology was real or whether it was just a smart play to secure a lighter sentence is exactly what the culture can't agree on. One side says Allen was a full participant who walked into that store, confirmed the target, and collected 5 racks off a dead man's money. The other side says he never got out of the truck during the actual robbery, never held a gun during the ambush, never shot anybody, and that without his testimony, the 3 dudes who actually did the shooting and the robbing might not have caught life.
That was insane. Obviously, they had everything to do with it. These guys planned this.
And look, the frustration is valid. This dude was in the car. He was at the scene. He got paid. And now he's out here hauling freight across America, while the other 3 are never going to see the parking lot of a Walmart again for as long as they breathe. But then you hear the other side.
I still think this guy should have been behind bars for at least 10 to 15 years, maybe even 20 years.
The legal side, the practical side, the side that don't care about your feelings and only cares about what actually gets convictions.
His aunt, DeAndre Ellis, said on behalf of the family that they are satisfied with the outcome. I say we are content as far as what the judge threw out for the sentencing.
X's own family standing in that courtroom nodding, saying they were content with the outcome. And Cleopatra Bernard, the same woman who called Boatwright out of his name on TMZ and told the other 2 about the soap, has said absolutely nothing about Robert Allen. Not a word. Reports from the time explicitly noted her silence on Allen's May 2023 sentencing, while her IG stayed focused on tributes to her son. No post, no interview, no comment from a woman who has never bitten her tongue about anything in her life. That silence speaks louder than anything she could have said. Now, here's the part that really twists the knife. While Allen is out here being a ghost, living quiet, minding his business on some 18-wheeler somewhere in Middle America, the man who actually pulled the trigger is still talking crazy from behind the wall. In October 2024, Boatwright somehow got on Instagram for Martin Correctional Institution and posted that he wasn't the evil person everybody thought he was. And then he hit everybody with a line that made the whole internet sick to its stomach. Dude said he was not sorry for nothing he did. Hashtag it's still free me. Let that sit for a second. The man who is free, Allen hasn't said a word. The man who will never be free, Boatwright can't shut up. Allen wept in court. Boatwright blew kisses. Allen apologized. Boatwright said he's not sorry for nothing. That contrast right there tells you more about these 2 men than any courtroom testimony ever could. And while all of this is going on, while the blogs recycle old news and the comments section stay heated, and the debate rages on about snitching injustice and what's fair and what isn't, there's a little boy in South Florida who just started the 1st grade. Gumaroy was born January 26, 2019, 7 months after his father was murdered. He's being raised by his mom, Genesis Sanchez, and his grandmother, Cleopatra Bernard, in a cooperative arrangement that came together after a custody dispute was settled privately in 2020. He started 1st grade in August 2025. Everybody who sees recent pictures of him says the same thing. That boy is the spitting image of his father. And in 2025, a content creator named Brandon Sloan ran into Gikumi at a Target, just a random encounter, and asked the little boy about his dad. And Gikumi, 7 years old, said, "I love him. My dad went to a hospital. He didn't never make it." That's it. That's the whole thing. A 7-year-old's entire understanding of the worst day of his family's life packed into one sentence that hits harder than any verdict, any headline, any comment section, rant ever could. His grandmother, the woman running a $50 million estate, dropping posthumous albums, fighting producer lawsuits, and building a whole foundation in her son's name, sat down for an interview and talked about the grandson extension. Never got to meet.
Now you just talk us a little about little Gecko.
He's sweet. He's gorgeous.
That's Cleopatra. Not the Cleopatra who told 3 convicted murderers about slippery soap on TMZ. Just a grandma talking about her grandchild. Soft, real, the version of her that the blogs don't get clicks off of. X told his mother multiple times, dead serious, no jokes, that he wasn't going to make it to 21. He died at 20. And now his seed is 7 years old. Growing up in a world where his father's accomplice is driving trucks across America under a sealed address, his father's shooter is posting from prison with zero remorse, and his father's catalog is still charting on streaming platforms more than half a decade after his passing. Robert Allen is free. His probation stretches to approximately 2043. He's prohibited from any contact with Extension's family. His address is locked behind sealed court documents. His social media footprint is 0. He is, for all intents and purposes, a phantom drifting through the margins of a story that the culture refuses to let die. Whether he deserved to walk is a question that depends entirely on what you think justice is supposed to do. Is it about punishment? About making sure everybody who touched the place suffers equally? Or is it about getting the information you need to put the worst ones away for good, even if it means letting the smallest fish swim? The street code says one thing, the courtroom says another, and neither one of them has a good answer for the little boy in the Target store who just wants to know why his dad never came home from the hospital. That's the only verdict in this whole case that nobody can appeal. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.